Hey, folks, in this interview, I'm speaking with Mr. George Varanakis. He's one of the people behind the Portrait Masters Live. This is TWIP. Hey, welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Frederick Van Johnson. Today, once again, on the hot seat, I have my good friend, Mr. George Varanakis. You may have heard his name in the industry. He's got or had fingers in all corners of the photography industry. That didn't come out right. But George has been involved with everything photography. If you don't know his name, you probably have been to an event that he's been behind the scenes on. Yeah, all that stuff. So George is here to talk about, what are we talking about? The Portrait Masters Live. This is your latest, greatest. You just like attempting really hard projects, right? And then hit home runs.
Yeah, apparently so. This one was obviously when COVID hit and we had our original conference, which was going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, September 9th through the 12th. We had to make a big decision, and it was, okay, do we just not do anything this year, or do we try to do a virtual conference, if you will? I don't really love the virtual name. I always like to call it digital conference. That's just me. Yeah. But we made that decision and moved back our dates a little bit. So we are September 21st through the 23rd, 3 days. We've got so much content, some amazing content. We're doing things a little bit differently than I think what a lot of the virtual trade show conferences you'll see out there in the photo industry, or just overall. We went at this a little bit differently in that we pre-recorded everything, and not like pre-record webcam or Zoom kind of thing. We pre-recorded like shootouts, and we had people at our studio. We had people at Peter Hurley's studio in New York shooting. And so we've got these amazing shootouts from Canon, Sony, and Profoto. We've got keynote speakers like Tabitha Coffey from her famous Bravo show. She's one of our keynotes, and she's just incredible. Her Bravo show was Tabitha Takes Over. We've got Mark Seliger, who's one of the most amazing photographers on the planet. He's done countless numbers of covers for GQ, Vanity Fair, I think he's done over 100 Rolling Stone covers. So I'm really excited of our lineup, and we're going to do this in a really fun way. It's going to be really fun over the 3 days that we're doing this. We've got kind of a trade show section. We've got a content section. We're going to be giving away a ton of stuff. And Sue and Nikki Klosser will be live here in the studio, kind of just introducing all the classes. Sue was just decided a couple minutes ago that Sue's going to do her closing keynote live. So
nice.
So most of it is pre-recorded. We will have live hosts, but the content that's come out of this is off the charts. I'm really excited of where it's going to land.
When you say Sue, you're talking about Sue Bryce, for the folks.
Sue Bryce, yes.
Yeah, it's
right.
The Sue Bryce. She should put a V in front of her name. Yeah,
right.
The Sue Bryce.
Right. The Sue Bryce.
So I want to have you set the stage on just the Portrait Masters for the folks that may not have heard about the conference.
Sure.
So I would thank you for inviting me to the last one. I was there in Arizona.
You were great. We had a blast.
Yeah, it was. That's the word. It was a blast. So for the folks that may not have heard of the conference, describe what the sort of, the soul of the conference is intended to be when it's real versus now when it's virtual or digital.
Doesn't it seem like that was 10 years ago?
It
does, right?
I feel 20 years older.
I know. So do I. So does my hair. So the Portrait Masters Conference, it's really a boutique conference in that we cap it at 500 people. We have only 9 speakers, one stage, one room. There's no breakout classes. We really tried to simplify it, and we wanted to give people an experience that they never forget. So we added so many different things to this conference that you won't see at other places. For example, we put shooting bays in the trade show, so some of which are sponsored. Like Canon will have a couple of shooting bays. Profoto will have a couple of shooting bays, and then we do a bunch of our own. So basically it's a model, backdrop, lighting, and you just go and shoot. And people went absolutely crazy for it when we launched it. And we kind of created like a Disneyland for photographers almost, where you could go in, you could talk to the vendors, you could shoot, you could touch, you could feel, kind of the things that we love about trade shows, right? You have that opportunity to touch and feel products, but also like you could rent a camera body from any of the vendors, the camera houses, and kind of go around the show and shoot. The networking part of it, which this is one that Sue came up with, but a red ribbon for someone that hadn't been there to our conference before. If you're wearing a red ribbon, it was to show everybody else like, hey, come say hi. And they're brand new and they don't know anybody. And it ended up being like such an incredible experience for people because, you go to a trade show and maybe you thought the Portrait Masters was this amazing show that you wanted to go to. It's an expensive ticket. It's $1,800, but it includes all your meals and some other things that we do. But for the red ribbon, it's just amazing because I saw it a dozen times of people just maybe sitting by themselves or walking by themselves, and other attendees would go and say, "Hey, how are you? Come sit with me." And it was just that networking part that that really kind of came out of it, which was really cool. Yeah. The other things, we've done Oprah moments. One year we gave everybody a Stella light. We've done Oprah moments from Graphy Studio, where everybody got Sue's folio box that she uses. So we try to make it really fun. Trade shows are always great to kind of be able to network and shoot and talk to vendors, but we kind of wanted to take it up another level. We have our annual silent disco costume party, which was crazy last year. We had such a great time. And trying to recreate those type of things and do it in the kind of virtual digital world takes a lot of thinking, but we're going to try to do that this year and try to do our virtual silent disco, which I think will be really fun. But yeah, we've got a pool party that's part of the in-person event. There's things going on every night. We had a karaoke contest last year. We try to have as much fun as we can. We try to deliver amazing parties, but also like the top educators in the industry coming and speaking on our stage. And then we've even have like a lot of kind of big name photographers in the shooting base too, helping other attendees shoot and answer any questions they might have. So, and the other thing that we launched last year that no one's ever done, which was the live stream demo stage. So we gave every vendor 20 minutes to go up and do a demo of their product, and we live streamed it out to the world. And a lot of vendors had a really good experience. We're doing something similar this year. We're just not doing it live.
Yeah, see, that was the magic of it. I think you're like we alluded or I alluded to it a little bit in the beginning. You are your pedigree is in events, right? You were somehow involved in WPPI, I think, at some point.
Yes.
And this little company called Creative Live,
right.
So
yeah.
Yeah, so you know your way around an event.
Thing. Right. I mean, that's always been the thing. Sue and our staff probably get so sick of me because like the day after our in-person conference, I'm like, ooh, what can we do? All right, how about we do this, this, and this? She's like, can you give it a rest for just a week kind of thing? But like, I'm just always thinking about how we can make it better. And I remember I would just send these like long, just crazy emails to the staff when I was at WPPI, like a couple of days after, of like, all right, Operation 20,000. How can we get to 20,000 people? And here's some sponsorship ideas, and here's some different ways we could do this. And I love that stuff. It probably drives everybody that I work with crazy, but I just can't. Awesome. Sometimes you just can't turn it off, and you're just always thinking of like, how do I make our show better? And we kind of took that approach to this. As I sat in, I kid you not, probably a dozen different virtual platforms, and there's a ton of virtual trade shows out there. And we looked at it and said, you know what, our platform is perfect for this. So we're actually just using our platform for Supervised Education. We're using it for both the content side and the trade show side. We've made a couple of tweaks on it, but overall it looks really good. And I'm pretty happy with the product that we're going to be delivering to our audience at the end of the day.
I'm curious to hear about that. So a couple things. So instead of being real in the real world, you're doing it digitally using the Supervised Education platform, like you said. What was the thinking behind breaking, other than the robust platform that you already have, but behind breaking with let's call it traditional virtual events or digital events that do the whole Zoom call and people come in there and there's a chat and the flow. Why break away from that and go pre-recorded versus live and in person?
Well, the one thing that when we were talking about this, it's so hard to do for a photo conference. If you're a business conference talking or something outside of photo, it's a lot easier to do. But when you have photography, it's hard to shoot like through Zoom. Like you can't really do it. It's all kind of PowerPoint presentations and things like that. And that's what we wanted to get away from. We wanted to be able to create these shootouts and create really amazing content and get the best speakers and get the best photographers, instructors to do these shootouts. We've got 12 different segments. And basically the shootouts were one model. The instructor picked the background, they picked the lighting, they picked the dress, and it's like go. And so, for example, on the Sony stage or on the Canon stage, you've got Peter Hurley, you've got Susan Stripling, you've got Laura Jade, you've got Carl Ferguson. They're all going to have a different perspective of how they do this. And I think when people see it, they're going to just be like, oh my God, this is amazing, because it's the same model, but they're all shooting in such a different way. And they all have such different styles and techniques. And it's a great learning experience for the end user.
I love that. I love that. So then what about so you mentioned $1,800 for the Arizona in-person conference, which
correct.
That's a chunk of change. That's a Mac,
it is.
Right?
It is.
So on this one, what are you looking at price-wise?
So for this, we tried to, just knowing everything that's going on in the world, and especially in the photo industry, we wanted to keep this as affordable as possible for photographers out there, knowing what's going on. So we have two different passes. Basically, we have a photographer pass, which is $149, which just basically gives you 30-day access to all the content. After that, it goes away. And then the Platinum Pass, which is $299, you get to own all the content forever. It's downloadable. So I feel like both packages are really great. The $299 is probably one of the greatest deals ever, because I believe we have over 30 classes. It's something like, it's over 50 hours of content. I mean, it's amazing. It's really robust. So we're excited of where we ended up with that.
Yeah, it seems on the inexpensive side. I mean, I was thinking, maybe $100 on top of those prices. Seriously, I was thinking, you'd probably be at 2 and 3 or 2 and 4 or something, like $249 and $499 or something. But you're going low. I like it.
We're going low, and really, we just want to keep it affordable for photographers and have a place where they can learn from home this year, unfortunately, but still kind of keep the wheels going and learning from the best instructors on the planet. So I think I'm really excited to where we end up on that one.
What is it, George? What does it look like in terms of the audience interaction or audience participation? One of the things we see at other events, like I said, that are Zoom or other based, is the chat that goes along with it. People are chatting in there and kind of interacting. And I know you guys are big on sort of audience involvement, like with the red ribbons and all that.
Right.
How is that going to manifest in the Portrait Masters Live?
That's a really great question. So we do have the chat that will be set up, and we'll be answering questions for people, and we'll have some of the instructors in the chat as well answering questions. But at the end of the day, we're going to do Zoom happy hour rooms, and they're going to be everything from like karaoke rooms, trivia rooms. We're just going to have George's Bar. We have George's Bar, obviously, at the in-person one. They have an empty kind of bar that they kind of let me. I always wanted to own a bar, so this is the closest I'm probably going to get. So we'll have George's Bar Zoom room for people to just come in and rap and talk. We'll have probably 15 different Zoom rooms every night for people to kind of come in and network. And it'll be everything, again, from like karaoke, trivia, George's Bar, to, hey, I want to talk about lighting, or we'll have like, I want to learn more about sales. It's going to kind of run the gamut.
I love that. That's cool. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see, because like I said, the idea of going sort of hybrid, it sounds like you're going hybrid with pre-recorded so that you can add that, Portrait Masters, George Varanakis, Sue Bryce level of polish to the final product.
Right.
And then on the other end of it, there's also the interactive part. On the interactive part, like say there's a Laura Jade in there, right? Is she going to be in the sort of after party events, or the instructors, will they be mingling with the attendees at all?
Yes. We'll have a lot of the shootout instructors there. It'll be kind of a meet the speakers Zoom room, so they'll be in there kind of interacting with a lot of the attendees as well.
That's cool. That's cool. You guys are going to crush it. You're going to crush it. You always do.
Man,
It's good.
Knock on wood. This is the final countdown, and it's just like, all right, we need to tweak here and just getting everything done. We have such an amazing team, and one of the things I've been really lucky and super fortunate my entire career at the WPPI Creative Live today, even where we are now, I've just been super lucky to work with a lot smarter people than I am, and always kind of making us better. And this one especially, everybody, it's just kind of, ooh, I like what you're doing there, but what if we did this? It was, ooh, yeah, we could do that. What if we did this? And it just, if you have great people around you, it always makes your end product even better. So everybody just keeps upping the level, which is great.
I love that. I love that. So looking towards the future. So assuming this one goes off without a hitch, everybody's happy. You guys are drinking, champagne at the end of the day.
I hope so.
What does 2021 look like? Assuming that we're out of the woods with all this virus stuff and everything, are you looking at the Portrait Masters 2021 being a hybrid of live and digital, or are you just going to lean into digital from now on?
That's a great question. So there's pluses and minuses, obviously, to everything. We're just trying to get through this one, I think, and then we'll start talking about 2021. I do know that when this all started, in terms of COVID and everything, we were talking about what our conference would look like, in 2021. And we're still kind of putting the pieces together. I do think it will be kind of a hybrid. And frankly, we've been kind of a hybrid the whole time, because we live streamed our conference the first 2 years. Last year, we recorded it. So production is really kind of our bread and butter at the end of the day. So there might be kind of like, we might do like a business masters type of thing and talk more about the business of photography, to do more of a kind of an online digital conference. And then that would be kind of rolling into the in-person conference. So we've definitely talked about it, and it'll be interesting to see what happens as we go, right? When we get into 2021, I don't know if there'll be conferences or any type of trade show in the first quarter. I don't know. I'm not going to predict anything, but for us, I think we're going to look at everything. Is it going to be safe? Do we want to do this in more of a hybrid way, like you talked about? And are people going to feel safe going back to trade shows for the next couple of years? I don't know. So there's a lot of things to kind of discuss and see which way it goes. But yeah, I do see us doing some sort of hybrid type of event next year. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
It does. It totally does. And it makes sense from a, just from a global inclusion standpoint, right? So people that are, living in Tasmania or something, have an internet connection, they'd love to come, but nobody's buying a ticket from Tasmania to come, right? But they can still experience at least a kind of it. Well, you were there last year. We had people from all across the globe that come to our conference, all corners. I don't know if we have anybody from Tasmania. I'll have to double check. But on the same note, on the same token, though, like you said, you have to look at the data, because you don't want to cannibalize the live event by giving people a low cost alternative and then penalizing the people that did come in person. So that's a George Varanakis level problem to solve.
I have to get through this get through this conference first, and then we'll kind of figure it out. But just thinking about how it would work, I mean, there is a way to kind of do it. But yeah, it's a good problem to have, and we'll figure it out in 2021.
It is. Well, refresh me on the dates again, and the price structure.
September 21st to the 23rd. You can find all the information, and there's a lot, because there are even things I didn't include. Like with the price of your ticket, you get a Fuji folio review. Fujifilm's doing folio reviews for a lot of the attendees. We are doing the silent disco. We're giving away a ton of prizes. We're going to have contests. We do have a private Facebook group where you can kind of interact and start meeting a lot of the attendees. And a lot of them are people that have come to our conference before. But the kind of cool thing is, being the price point at $149 for a 30-day access to the content, or $299 to own it, you've got all these different people that might not have had an opportunity to come to the Portrait Masters before. Now they kind of see what we're all about, see the instructors that we've selected, because I always feel like we have kind of a high bar in terms of who we ask to be on our stage. And that's really Sue just kind of curating the content and making sure that like they're up to the level that she feels. And everybody that we've ever had on our stage has just absolutely knocked it out of the park. I can already say, because I've seen most of the content already, a lot of them have already knocked it out of the park. So for that, I think it's just a really good deal. And it's a way for people that haven't been to the big conference, the in-person one, to kind of get a taste of what we do overall.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. That's the other piece of it. People that may not have considered coming to a Portrait Masters event previously can get a taste of it. And then, the next time say, you know what, this was great. I'm going in person on the next one. And your audience just sort of grows and grows and grows.
Right. Cool. Exactly.
So once again, the URL for people, if they want to go check it out.
ThePortraitMastersLive.com. Right. And it'll have the schedule. It'll have information about the Fujifilm Poly reviews, all the speakers. Everything you need to know is on that page.
Awesome. Cool. So, George Varanakis, man, thank you so much for
it's always a pleasure. Thank you for all your support over the years. I love your podcast. It's one of my favorites, and you're one of my favorite people in the industry too. So thank you again.
Likewise, man.
All right.
Yeah, and congratulations on this. I'm looking forward to sitting back with my glass of wine and watching it all unfold.
Yeah, you and me both. Don't contact me on September 24th, but we can definitely talk on the 25th. I might need like 24 hours just to recover, but I'm really excited about where this is going, and I'm pumped. I think we have a really amazing product to show people.
Awesome. All right. Well, of luck. Best of luck to both you and Sue and the entire crew over there. I know you guys are in crunch mode, so get back to work.
All right. Thank you, Frederick. Have a good one.
All right, man.
This is TWIP.